What's going on? This is Ryan with Automatic Comics, and up next I've got a $6,500 comic unboxing. Stay tuned. Alright, before we get started, please remember to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content like this. So, got my weekly unboxing video of some books that I picked up. There's about $6,500 in books here, at least based on my estimates. And there's some cool books. I've got some Silver Age keys, some Golden Age keys, so just some great books I'm excited to get into. So the first one I'm going to open is this book here. And this one actually came from a claim sale on Instagram. And so I've mentioned them before. In some of my other videos. This is from Elite Comics 11, and so they run claim sales for other sellers, and because they have like 25,000 followers, and so they have a lot of people that watch their channel, and so they have a big community of people that they can sell books to. And so this was from one of their sellers that's on there quite a bit. It's actually from their series that they call the Collector's Stash. So it's people who aren't necessarily dealers, but they have large collections and they're looking to sell those books. And now, I mean, this guy, you could basically call him a dealer, though. I mean, he talked about this during his, I don't think he was joking, during his last video where he was selling and people were asking him about how he got into it and everything. And he had said, he's like, oh, I just got into it, like, it was like 3 or 4 years ago, and in his first year, he spent $500,000 on comics. So, like, when they show, like, his basement where they're filming, I'm assuming it's his basement where they're filming, it's just walls, like a wall of boxes filled with slabs that's like 3 or 4 high. I mean, it's incredible. The amount of books that he has accumulated in such a short period of time is really incredible. And so, unfortunately, this one has a bunch of packing peanuts in it, so it's making a huge mess. But this was a pre-code horror book that he had. He tends to have a number of pre-code horror books, so I always like to watch his sales. I thought this one was just a pretty cool book. It was a great price. It's from 1952. It's an EC book. This is Vault of Horror, number 27. You can see there's this, like, blob thing, or whatever you want to be, basically absorbing that person. And so pretty horrific cover. And you can see how somebody was asking about this earlier. You can see where this is where you see these characters that you often know from, like, Tales from the Crypt, the TV show, where you've got, like, the Crypt Keeper down here. Now, he looks different than what he looks like in the show. Obviously, he looks like a person, but these are the different characters that you often see in each of the different EC titles, each of the different books. And so I just thought that was a cool book. I keep mentioning that it's kind of like a recurring theme for me, is that I'm always looking for pre-code horror books whenever I'm watching auctions, different things like that, because there's a lot of demand for them. There aren't that many of them out there. Now, with the EC titles, there are definitely more. Those were one of the more popular titles at the time, but I mean, there's a reason for that. Just because there's a few more of them doesn't mean they don't carry a lot of value, because they're the books that a lot of people remember and are looking for. So just a cool pre-code horror book. Now, the next box here has a number of books in it. I don't remember exactly how many, 6 or 7, I think. And this one, again, has, like I mentioned, has a mix of some Silver Age keys as well as some great Golden Age books. So very excited to get into this. One of these that, if you watch my recent top 10 video, you will know one of the books that's in here. So let's see here. So there's 2 packages of books. All right. So here's the other one. So I'll cut into these, and then we will go over these books. All right, so I underestimated how many books were in there just a little bit. There are 9 books, and like I said, just I think some great Silver Age and Golden Age books. So the first one here is actually a raw, so it's the only raw book that's in here, but it is a pretty big one, and this is Green Lantern #1. And so this obviously is not his first appearance. His first appearance is Showcase 22, which is an infinitely better cover than this creepy clown cover that I really don't like. But it's the first issue in his very long-running series, so it is a very important book. And it actually has really nice colors on it. It's very low grade. You can see there's kind of like a lot of water damage, but a lot of that wrinkling could actually be pressed out, so at least it would improve the presentation. But it looks like there's maybe some, I don't know if that's mold or whatever it might be, but it's also on the back of this book, but still a nice presenting lower grade book. And so that's always a good thing when you have these lower grade books, if you can get them where they're not missing huge pieces or have faded colors or anything, because colors are actually really nice. I mean, looking at this from a few feet away, it's a really, really nice looking copy. So great book there, great DC book. Now the next one is a Golden Age DC key, and this is Flash Comics #89, and very low grade. This is a 1.0. This one looks more like a 1.0. You know, you've got all this chipping and tearing on the edges. Spine of cover completely split and cover detached. So it's every bit of that of that 1.0. But this is the first appearance of Rose and Thorn, and so this is the Thorn, this character up here on the front, that is throwing thorns at the Flash. But just an early Golden Age first appearance, 1947. So just a book that I've seen pop up for sale a few times, and I thought this one was just too good of a price to pass up, so I decided to grab it. All right, now this next book is a pretty cool one. This is Justice League of America #75. And this is when Black Canary leaves Earth 2 to go to Earth 1 and join the Justice League. So just it's a pretty popular cover, and it especially had a spike in price when Black Canary was in the Birds of Prey movie, but it's definitely retreated some since then, but I think it's still a great key book to pick up. So late Silver Age, November 1969. And the first appearance of Black Canary is actually another one of these things where it's a Golden Age book. It's Flash Comics #86. I'll throw a picture of it up here. It's a pretty cool cover with a big dinosaur on the cover. It's another instance where you don't see her on that cover. All right, now we're getting into some Marvel on the next one, and I think this is a great book. This is Tales of Suspense #48. And so this is the first time that Iron Man is actually wearing his trademark red and yellow armor. And so I think that is just a really, really key issue for Iron Man. It's also the first appearance of Doll Man, very, very important Marvel villain. But yeah, so I think this is a great book. You've got first time he's in that armor that everybody is well aware of. So he's now no longer in this golden armor that's right here that he started. Well, he started in the steel armor, the gray armor, then had the golden armor for quite a few issues. So it would have been issue 40 through 47, so 8 issues, and then switched to the red and yellow armor that we know of now. But great book, great Silver Age key for Tales of Suspense. I think it's just an undervalued key as well for how important that is in the history of that character. All right, now I've got another pre-code horror book, and I showed this book in my last unboxing, but this is a graded copy. This is Voodoo #4, and so just pre-code horror, 1952, has Matt Baker art. So I've talked about there are some Matt Baker books that where he actually did horror. He was much more well known for kind of like the good girl art and romance type covers and art and that kind of thing, but this is one of the horror books that he did. So I have a raw copy of this book and now a graded copy of that one. All right, so next, these are books that I've started buying these when I see them, especially the older ones when you get back into the I especially prefer into the 40s, but early 50s is good as well. Also some of the more fun covers. Now, this is just an early one. This is Archie Comics number 46, and it's a nice presenting copy, a 6.5. It's a CBCS. You can see the colors really pop on this copy. I think it's a great copy. Now, there are definitely quite a few Archie collectors out there still. It's a run or a series of runs that's been ongoing since the early 40s until even today, and so it's definitely a popular character. You know, they even had the TV series about Archie. So definitely books that I like buying when I find that the price is right. They do tend to, I found that, you know, they tend to sit a little bit longer, but they do still sell. There are still collectors for them. Now this one, I had to buy this one when I saw it. I thought this is one of these sexual innuendo covers for Archie, and this one is really good, so I'll show this one. This is Archie Comics 78 from 1956, and so here you can read that that cover there. But I really enjoy these. I think these are so funny, especially since if you notice up here, this is the Comics Code Authority. So this was 1956, right when the code had started, and Archie was just so good at like slipping these types of things by, and it's not even like it's that hidden or anything. It's pretty obvious what they're talking about there, but Comics Code Authority still let it through, and you know, so just a super fun one of these fun covers that from Archie. Now, the next one, this is a rare book. So I was pretty happy to be able to pick this one up, and I felt like it was a really good price for it. Now this is Archie Comics number 2, and it's from 1943, and it's a 1.5, but you know, you can see it's a pretty nice presenting 1.5. You know, there's tape on it, and there's a little piece missing out of the corner, but overall a pretty complete looking book. And you know, there's the back. There's, you know, a little piece missing out down here, but in general, a nice looking 1.5. And this book is rare. This is a book that is actually classified as scarce by Gerber. So this is a rare book, and like I've mentioned before, I watch a lot of sales, a lot of auctions. This book does not sell very often. I see Archie Comics number 1 more often than I see number 2, and I see number 3 more often than I see number 2. I really don't see this book often, so I thought it was a cool opportunity to get to pick that book up. And if you look at the CGC census, there's only 31 copies of this book that are graded. I think Archie Comics 1 has, it's either 52 or 58. So definitely a rare book, and was super excited to be able to pick that one up. I just think that's a cool book to get. Now, it's not his first appearance or anything. He appears much earlier in, I believe it's Pep Comics is where you see him first. But the Archie run, you know, his first self-titled run is Archie Comics number 1, which I'll throw a picture up here too, because that is also a very in-demand book. But Archie Comics 2, super happy to get that. All right, now this last book here, this is the book that I talked about in my last top 10 video, and really excited to be able to pick up this copy. And this is Captain America number 117, an 8.0 with white pages. So that's another thing that makes this an especially great book, considering that I felt like I got it for a really good price. And so 8.0 white pages, where you've got first appearance of Falcon, and he is the new Captain America, so in the MCU. And you know, this book went up in price a lot with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then as things happen with Marvel and with people who buy and speculate and all that stuff on comics, the instant he was out of people's eyes, the prices started to drop. But it's not like that character's gone. We know that character's gonna come back. He's gonna play a big role in Marvel, and so I think that these books, Captain America 117, lesser extent Captain America 118, his second appearance, are really good books to pick up. And so, you know, white pages is always fun to get. The main flaw on this book, and I think would probably keep it from getting any higher grade, is you've got this crease in the corner there, and so you've got that color breaking crease that's about I don't know, 3/4 of an inch, half an inch, something like that. But the spine itself is really, really clean. You know, spine is clean, edges are clean. That corner down there has got some blunting, but main flaw is that that upper corner and then a little bit of kind of like roughness on that top edge. But in general, a really sharp looking copy. That cover also looks really nice, you know, bright looking copy. So excited to get that book. I do have one other copy of this one. It's not as nice as this. It's probably in the 5.5, 6 range, something like that. But hope you enjoyed this video. Thought I had some cool books to show, and I always like being able to show books from Golden Age that are a little more rare that maybe you don't see every day, as well as just some Silver Age keys like this and that Green Lantern one. If you did, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content like this. We've got more videos over here if you'd like to watch some more of my videos, and the subscription button is right here. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, I would really appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video.